Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Sloka 21. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Veda Vinashinam Nityam Ya Enamajamavyayam Katham Sapurusha Partha Kanghatayati Hantikam. In this second chapter, Bhagavan Shri Krishna giving the highest knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, the Atma Gnanam, making the Arjuna to know what is the truth. Once a person knows about the truth, he never grieves in this world with this body-mind complex. Even in spite of the situations, changes, and miseries, even miseries comes, but in spite of, he refused to become miserable and he refused to become sorrowful. So, to say that Bhagavan started the teaching from the 11th shloka onwards, then in the last class, we have, in the last few classes, what are the main the characteristics of the Atma? The truth is explained by the Lord in different ways. In that, we have coined a one word. One is Atma is Nityam. Atma is first Satyam. Atma is Satyam. And Atma is Nityam. Then Atma is Sarvagataha. And Atma is Akarta and Abhokta. And Atma is Nirvikaraha. And finally, in the last class, this 21st shloka, Atma Nissangaha. So, all these attributes of the Atma, when we say Atma, we should not look up and here and there. It is about us. Each one of us are the same Atma. So, we must convert all these words into our personal uh, experience. It is about me. So, what we have to say? Aham Atma Satyah. Aham Atma Nityah. Because if that Aham is not added, we will search for the Atma somewhere. As we search for the Paramatma somewhere. There is no Paramatma somewhere, there is no Atma somewhere. That Atma is you. That Atma is you. You means I. So, Aham Atma Satyah Nityah, then Nityah Satyah Sarvagataha. I am all pervading. I am eternal and I am the existence and I am the permanent and I am the truth and I am all pervading and I am aprameyaha, cannot be measured, cannot be calculated, cannot be talked of, cannot be uh, explained about it, aprameyaha, which cannot be objectively measured. Then I am Atma, not doing anything, not enjoying anything. But body mind are enjoying and body mind are doing. But I am just supporter of this body mind. I am enlivening them, but I am not doing anything. Then Atma. I am, aham atma, nirvikaraha. Whatever may be the modifications happens in the body mind complex, and whatever may be the changes happens surrounding me to this body mind complex in the world, in the transactory world, they may keep on change, but I am not changing. I am changeless, nirvikaraha. And not only that, finally, this nissangaha, aham atma, unattached, unattached. I never attached, I never going to be attached. Always I am detached only. So this is the Pratigna Shloka. Pratigna Shloka means in the 20th Shloka, Atma never born, Atma never die, Atma never become anything. It is Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, like this. By saying that all the six modifications, vikaras of the body has negated. And for that sloka to support and strengthen, now all these words are together again. Krishna brought in this 21st shloka. So whoever knows in this way, this avinashinam nityam, which is never cannot be never can never be destroyed. So being it is never can be destroyed, it is the permanent nityam, and it is why it is not going to be destroyed, cannot be destroyed, because it doesn't have any birth. Whatever has got the birth will have the death. Whatever has got the manufacturing date naturally will have the expiry date. So birthday and death day. So birth and death were not there. So it is ajam, and it is being, it is eternal. It is avyayam. Never become a small or less or decay. There is no decay or chuti, fall in it. Avyayam. Vyayam means actually spending, expenditure. Avyayam means so many galaxies, worlds, nakshatras, stars, and uh, planets are all there. They may keep on come and change and get destroyed because they have got the birth. So any deficit or the deficiency will happen in the Atma, no, avyayam. To such a Atma, how come, hey Arjuna, anybody can kill it, or that such a Atma can do any kind of killing action, or it will make anybody to kill? So here two words are used. Kam ghatayati, katham ghatayati or hantikam. Katham and kam, the let words are conjunctions are used uh, in the form of the objection. How come? It is not possible at all. Is it possible? It is not a question, but is objection. So either Atma kills somebody or Atma provokes somebody to kill. Nothing. There is no any kind of these things in the Atma. So after saying by this, what is the conclusion word? Nisangaha, unattached, unattached. So for this, always we are giving again and again the example of the sky. Example of the sky. Many of the features of the Atma and the sky are Akasham are similar, except one thing. Atma, Akasham also has got this space, also has got the birth, and because it has got the birth, it has got the death end also. But Atma It doesn't have birth and death. That only the difference. But otherwise, all this Atma Nitya means not eternally Nityam, but relatively Nityam comparative to the other Pancha Mahabhutas, comparatively to the other planets and all the stars or the galaxies. Akasham is Nityam in that way, not absolute. So same Atma Sarvagataha. So we'll see much more about again and again about this Atma. We'll keep on give the example comparison because it is easy to somewhat comprehend and understand about the Atma. Atma can never be perceived by the senses, but can be understood by the intellect. That is important. Now let us go to the 22nd shloka. What further Bhagavan wants to say? Vasamshi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. Now, in this shloka, Bhagavan wants to give by giving some example. This indestructible Avinashi. How come there is no any destruction is possible to this Atma? But we are seeing many bodies are all dying here. Everything is decaying and dying, appearing and disappearing. But you said Atma never appear or never disappear. It is always there, and nothing happens to the Atma. But to whom these birth and death are happening? So Bhagavan giving an example, hey Arjuna, what generally people think about the birth and death, the janana marana, and then after the marana again punarjanma, the rebirth. You know what it means exactly? It is not happening to the Atma, but it is happening to the subtle body which is borrowing the consciousness as a reflection from the original consciousness OC and which is supporting and enlivening this gross physical body, that Sukshma Sariram, the subtle body travels. Subtle body travels. But here, by saying this subtle body, Sukshma Sariram, we must remember that we are the combination of the congregation of the three bodies. In the Tattva Bodha, this topic is also discussed. One is gross body, Sthula Shariram, and the second one is the subtle body, Sukshma Shariram, which is consisting of again Mano Buddhi Chitta Hankaras, and the Karana Sharira, causal body. Or if we explain them in as five parts, Pancha Koshas, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. So three bodies or five koshas are one and the same. Anyhow, in this, when a person dies, the physical body will be here only, we see, but it won't have any interaction. It cannot do the transaction because the inside the Chaitanya Pratibhimbam, the subtle body, Sukshma Sariram, left the body. How it will leave and how it go, that all you cannot perceive. We can just accept it. Shastra says, so that is the truth. What Shastra says, it is beyond the science. Science also cannot comprehend this because even when I see you, I can see your physical body, but I cannot see your mind. Even I myself cannot see my mind as I am seeing my physical body. And what to talk about the Atma? So, for the timing, let us keep the Atma side. Now, here, the original Atma, which is talked about the 6, 7 characters. Now, we have come little one step down to the what about this death and birth? Birth and death is we are seeing every day in front of me, my own relatives, friends. So, this is the problem with Arjuna also. Now, to say that, okay, death and birth and death is happening to the body, and in that the embodied here, that embodied mentioned here in the sloka as dehi. Here, when we say dehi, the same dehi word used in some other context in the same Bhagavad Gita as the supreme Atma. But here, when this example we are seeing, we should be very careful and understand what Lord wants to convey here. So here, by saying the birth and the birth and death to the physical body, and the punarjanma who is traveling then. So somebody is traveling. That somebody is called Sukshma Sariram. It is nothing but the reflection of the uh, original consciousness, Paramatma, and that reflection where it happened, that medium called mind or Sukshma Sariram, that has got the capacity to go and take residence in the other body. How it happens, either science or for our mind, it cannot be comprehended. But what Shastra says, we have to listen and accept it. But our attention should go from this body and the gross body and the subtle body. This subtle body, Sukshma Sariram, is called in another terms as Chidabhasa also in some places, or it is called Jiva. Jiva is a very commonly known word because I am a Jiva. The Jiva takes another birth. Jiva travels. So Jiva means nothing but this refined medium which is called mind. Being it is refined, it cannot be visible or perceptible to these five gross sense organs. These gross sense organs can see only the gross things. But how to then perceive? You can perceive means you can understand by listening to the Shastra in the same mind by the Buddhi. Okay. So, not to prove or to say it is true about this Punarjanma or the birth and death, but which is in our perception, experience, that has to be explained. So, for that reason, only Lord here is saying what he says, he gives the good example Yatha Naraha Vihaya Jirnani Vasamsi. As just as the people will give up, throw away, or give up the worn out and torn, become very old clothes, Jirnani Vasamsi. That means the very old clothes which we cannot wear furthermore, we will give up, we'll throw away them, throw away. And then we will take up Grunhati Aparani Navani Tatha. Then we will take the new clothes. We will throw the old clothes and take the new clothes. Tatha. Just in the same way, this Dehi, here Dehi means not the Atma. not the Shuddhaham, Brahma, or the Paramatma, to which we have given these seven characteristics. Please remember. Here, Dehi means so Atma, as though it is like this Jivatma, as though Atma is Abhikriya, Abhikriya. And this Jivatma, which is a falsehood, imaginary, illusory reflection, this only, this Dehi, Vihaya, Jirnani Sharirani. Once if this physical body is not fit instrument hereafter further to live in this and do the transactions, and this become very old, but the Sukshma Sariram Jiva has got still a lot of karmas to exhaust for either punya or papa. So for that reason, this Sukshma Sariram Jiva again has to take the another body because this body has become very old. Whatever punya papam to experience, I have experienced. Still lot of karmas are there. All those karma phalas I have to exhaust. For that, I need again a bhoga ayatanam and bhoga sadhanam. In Tattvabodha, this body is called bhoga ayatanam, a resident. For that, dehi resident to live. And mind, subtle body is the sadhanam through which he experience sadhanam, the instrument. So in this way, dehi vihaya jirnani sharirani, the useless. Furthermore, it is not at all useful. It become very old, started decaying, and shortly it will die. So such once if it is not at all fit, not at all fit, because the time is over. The prarabdha time is over for this particular body. How long it has to live? Then jirnani sharirani. Here, if we say worn out bodies or old bodies or diseased bodies, we may get doubt. What is it? Sir, very young, no disease, no old age, nothing. We see and we heard so many deaths of a healthy, young children, youth, teenage, all. Then what we will say, Jirnani Sharirani? Shariram is not a Jirnam, but Prarabdham is got over. Prarabdham Jirnam, oh, Jirnam, it got exhausted. So if the Prarabdham is got exhausted, how, sir, that Prarabdha, how we know how much Prarabdha is there? Some children just they born and within few days they will die. It's very difficult to understand this Maya Prapancham, this karma, the law of karma, the ways of the karma, how it functions. It is so deep and difficult, Arjuna. In fourth chapter, Bhagavan himself is going to tell that Gahana Karmano Gatihi. Even Panditas, very the wise people also will get confused about Kim karma kimakarmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha. What is karma? What is akarma? What is vikarma? What to do? What not to do? How it will function? Now, very muhyanti gets deluded. So instead of trying to inquire and find out the law of karma and all that, listen to Shastra. Shastra says, these karmas, if you do, it is papa. If these karmas, if you do, it is punyam. That means dharmam, adharmam. This dharma, adharmas are only going to be your currency later, black money and white money after you leave the body. And that with that currency again, you have to uh, go to the Ishvara, and that Ishvara see the calculation of it. In this last Janma, What are the good and bad actions we have done according to you, another body. This is all story. This is all very interesting to listen and all that. But the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, the purpose of the Upanishads, the Vedanta Shastra is not to tell these stories. You will travel, you will go to that world, you will go to this world. These are all valuable, and they are all real as long as you consider that you are the Jiva. Just considering bhavana. As long as you think that I am the Jiva, and as long as you claim that I am the Karta and Bhokta, this Ahankara, pseudo I, or this Jivatma, which is not really real, but it is relatively real, will come more deeper, because it is just like another dream. So, what is the value for the dream things? In dream also we'll die. Dream also we will we have the experience of birth. There also all experience are going on. But it is anything is real? No, it is not real. In the same way, when you come to the wake up, the entire dream become unreal. In the same way, when you wake up from this waking state to the gnana state, when you wake up to the gnanam, in the waking state, it is another wake up, not from the dream and sleep. You are already wake, I am already wake up, sir, but you have to still wake up to the gnanam. What? Rejecting this body, mind complex and this jiva bhava, kartrutva, bhoktrutva bhava, reject it. They are not real. How? As you rejected the dream, sir, very difficult. You are talking very easily. To say it is easy, sir. Yeah, we didn't say it is very easy. You have to work on it. You have to understand. You have to analyze. That's why Vivekam, Vicharam, and all that. For that only Bhagavad Gita study. It is not that much easy, means what? To accept. How come you are easily accepting your dream as the dream? It is not real. Because now I am in waking up state, Jagrata Avastha, waking state. I know very well the dream, oh, I only dreamt, but I, the Jagrata Purusha, entered into the dream and experienced it. And now I become again a Jagrata Purusha, the waking state, waking person, and the dreamer disappeared. In the same way, when I become a dreamer in the dream, I forgot and everything vanishes about the waking state. The waking state and wakerhood are not there when I am in the dream. But when I become dreamer and dream state, and when I come back here, that is not there. And when I go to sleep, these two are not there. Then question should come, no, common sense. And what is really actually? Whether I am a sleeper, whether I am a dreamer, or whether I am a waker, which is real? Which is real? So here it is a continuous long discussion. Okay. Up to this, if you understand somewhat, it's okay. Why I'm talking this much? Simply, Lord given the example. If you don't understand this word of the Dehi, here in the commentaries and everywhere, the meaning they will give Atma. This Atma gives a, you said a few minutes back, Atma never do anything. There is no giving or taking. No any action is possible in the Atma. then how you can say? But in commentaries, if you say this Atma gives up the worn out bodies and attains other new ones, then it will become fact. If it is a fact, then I cannot deny it. If Jiva is the fact, and taking this body and other body again, birth and death becomes real. But so far we have talked about the Ajam, Nirvikalpam, uh, Sanatanam, Avinashi, Nityam, Satyam, Ekam, Aprameyam. What about all this? Yes, here that's why we have to brought out. You have to brought out the your Jiva uh, theory. But remember, not to prove and say that Jiva is real, to negate the Jiva, and Jiva is not real. But here in this particular juncture to the Arjuna, to get make him to get rid of from this delusion of the um, Jiva, even if you consider your grandfather and the teacher are the Jivas, I told about the Atma. From the standpoint of the Atma, from the standpoint of the Absolute, there is no any kind of modification, death and birth and nothing is there. No vikara at all. But from the standpoint of the relative jiva aspect, from your experiential aspect, this is happening. But even though it is experientially, it is my experiential experience, but that is also Shastra say want to say it is not true, because your experience need not to be uh, a real one. For that we have lots of examples. Many times we told my experience is blue, sky is the blue I see, but really there is no blue color. So at the gnana standpoint, understanding or the reality, sky doesn't have the blue. But why my experience is like that? That is what we say Maya. So that's why this avasthas and in this waking state, the jiva, suffering and all that are also a unreal experiences. That's why we give the word mithya, whichever is not real, but experientially real, but actually not real. Okay? Virtually real, but actually not real. So in this way, we have to remember this, and so the simple meaning of changing the dress and all that, or maybe even though if it is a jiva, jiva is not dying. According to this much knowledge, jiva is not dying. Jiva will die only when the gnanam comes. Only when that Brahma Gnanam, I am not Jiva, I am Brahma. Jivo Brahma eva na aparaha. When that non-dual knowledge takes place, that time then Jiva gets destroyed, dissolved. But up to that, it is real or real for the Ajnanis. So we have to talk and tell from this experiential level, and then we have to prove that this experience is not real. It is only virtual, but it is not real. So even Arjuna, if you consider them as the jivas and all that, but they are not going to die. The body is as just people will leave the old clothes and wear the new clothes. The jiva takes another cloth. Then so in that case also you are not supposed to grieve. That is what Lord keep on telling. Uh, na kartum sochitum arhasi. Okay, you are not deserve to grieve. So many times Lord keep on tells kartrum uh, sochitum na arhati, like that. So after telling this about the jiva and So Atma is Avinashi. So the 21st shloka, the Pratigna, Atma is Avinashi, is now proved in this example. So Atma ever existence exist. Only bodies may die, the world will change, even if you take it as a Jivatma. Now, after telling that, so Bhagavan then tells, now he is coming to the real Atma. In Atma, there is no any kind of vikaram, that is already said. You know what is the reason for there is no any vikara modification in the Atma? Or even if you take the Jivatma, that also just now we said temporarily eternal only. Temporary and eternal means up till you get the Gnanam, it will keep on go to the another birth, another body, another body, another body. In this way, quote, Aneka Janma Samprapta, Koti Koti Janmas. How no, we don't, it keep on continue like that. So, relatively eternal only in one aspect, the Jivatma, not absolutely, remember. Now, this shloka, 22nd, 23rd, both the angles, if you can apply this. Now, let us read this. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोचयति न शोषयति मारुतः. Bhagavan telling about the four Panchamahabhutas, how these four Panchamahabhutas cannot affect the Atma. So, for the time being, when I say Atma, you remember both. It is a supreme Paramatma or the Jivatma. This Jivatma cannot be destroyed, okay, destroyed by any of these four uh, Panchamahabhutas. To say that, Bhagavan telling, na enam chindanti shastrani. Shastrani na chindanti enam. This Atma, either Jivatma or Paramatma, any Shastra means any instrument weapon cannot kill or destroy. Chindanti means cut or destroy. By saying Shastrani, we have to understand that the earth element, because of the earth element only, whether it is a weapon made up of the wood, whether it is a weapon made up of the iron metal, anything. So all those instruments which are used, all that came from the matter, the grass, that is Bhumi Tattva. So one Pancha Mahabhuta. So whatever is made up of the earth, that is whether stone, these things cannot nachindanti. Now let us make it here itself clear. Suppose here in the world, people are killing each other by many ways, no? By the sword, by the knife, by the bullet, by the ha- hitting, by the rod, by the wood, anything, or bomb also. So when these things are used, the earth element things, but the physical body dies. Physical body dies. Even small injury, head injury. The person just kept the leg on the banana peel and felt back like this, and the same stone or the footpath, hmm, that hard floor, hit it on his back. That's all. On the spot, he dies. So, for any of these earth elements, this physical body gets destroyed. Now, as we told in the 22nd verse, but the subtle body goes and occupies the another physical body. Or if you take it the absolute Atma, that point I will come later. Let us see from this body and this Sthula Shariram and the Sukshma Shariram. Because Sukshma Shariram only travels, Shastra tells. We can't see. Then, same way, na dahati enam pavakaha na dahati enam. The next element, in order if you take, actually it has to come the waters. But Bhagavan goes in a different order. Pavakaha means the fire element, Agni, also cannot burn this Atma. Which Atma for the timing? Jivatma. Again, so a person's body, physical body, can be throw the petrol or kerosene or simply like that. If the cloth catches the fire, Agni burns that physical body, immediately dies, gets collapse. But still, the Jivatma travel. So Sukshma Sarira cannot be destroyed. Then, what about the another element? Apaha na kledayanti. So, apaha na kledayanti. The water does not wet or make it dry. See, water can do two things. If we put the wet clothes in the uh, corridor, the wind makes them to become dry, even without sunlight. Or if the rain comes, the dry cloths can become the wet. So here, kledayanti means does not wet. One aspect only said, or cannot make them uh, okay dry. Because the dry word is comes in the next fourth element when Lord says about the air, especially. So here let us take as the water cannot make it wet. That means what? Here we can say, suppose if a person gets drowned in the water, person dies, not becoming the clothes wet, because the weapons cannot cut it, the fire cannot burn, and he is telling, and the water cannot make it wet. That means they all can give destruction and death to the physical body. In the same way, Marutaha, Ena. Marutaha cha na soshyate. So the wind element also cannot make it dry. But why Lord didn't say about the sky? Sky also is one of the five great elements only. Yes. Sky is not directly involved in any actions. This. That's why I told no. The Atma, absolute the self, is almost real nearer to the, like Atma, like space. So otherwise, Lord would have said about the space also. Space cannot affect directly even the physical body. Or I can we can say this example by crushing. Okay, the space is become lesser and lesser and lesser in one place. Any object you put in the press it, like you squeeze the lemon and anything, even any jiva, we just put the mosquito and crush it. So there is no space. Space means enough space is not there, so it cannot escape and it dies. Okay, we can take in that way also. But anyhow, Marutaha, that Lord mentioned, not mentioned about the space. Forget about it. Marutaha cha na soshyati. So four great elements can affect, destroy only the physical body, my dear, not the subtle body. Now apply the same principle. Even subtle body itself is not able to affected by these four elements. Then what to talk about the sarvagataha, everywhere, all pervading that Atma? Now, let us go to the 24th shloka. That time we will analyze more about the Akasham and how the Paramatma is almost have same similar features. अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्योऽसोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः. What Lord said in the 23rd shloka, the same principles again is summarizing like in the first line. So, therefore, I am that Atma, Achedyaha, cannot be cut. There he said, Nachindanti. Here he says another word, Achedyaha, cannot be divided, cannot be separated or destroyed. That is the meaning. I am Adahyaha. This Atma cannot be burnt by the fire. And Akledyaha cha eva asoshyah, cannot be made wet by the water and cannot made uh, by the dry by the wind. See here, wind dryness also word came. Here the words used is different. So there is cannot be wet, cannot be dried up air. So in this way, after again just reminding again, so for certain, remember Arjuna, these Panchamahabhutas, none of them. That means any weapons, any instruments, any kind of these things, even you use the atom bomb, physical bodies may die, but the subtle bodies cannot die. And what to talk about the Ananta, Arupa, Sanatana, Parabrahma. Then now the other second line words are very important. Almost same again what previous shlokas Lord said, Nityam, Satyam, Nirvikaram, Sarvagataha, Aprameyam, but different words. Much more to contemplate and think in deeply. I am, so therefore, I am telling you about this Jiva, okay, or the Paramatma. I am this Nityaha. But remember, now we have to drop and keep the Jiva away. Okay? Because if I tell Jiva Nityaha, but one way until you get the Gnanam, Jiva will continue. Lakhs and crores of Janmas it will take. Hmm. Incessantly. Womb to tomb to womb, it will just travel shuttled. So Nityaha, but we have to side by side remember keep Nitya means Satyaha, Aprameya. That Atma is eternal. That means Kalatitam, beyond the three Kalas, the past, present, and future. There is no Kalam in that. So Nityaha and Sarvagataha. So Nityaha, Sarvagataha. The words, these words are not brought out explicitly in the previous shlokas, but we have derived and said Nityaha, Satyaha, like that. But one or two words directly Lord said Aprameyaha. Said Nityaha Sarvagataha means Deshatitaha, beyond the time and beyond the space. Desha means space because it is all pervading. So Sarvagata, we have to take that corollaries of the word. Nitya means Kalatitam, beyond the time. Sarvagata means Deshatitam, beyond the space. Now, Sthanuhu, Sthanuhu, this word is newly Bhagavan using. Actually, Sthanuhu means which is changeless, which is just stay, be there as it is. Sthanuhu. In Vishnu Sahasranama, there is one name for the Bhagavan, is Thanuhu. Or in Tamil Nadu, particularly, there is a temple for Shiva, Sthanunathan Kovil, Shiva's temple. That means here, Nirvikaraha, then Aprameya, or these two together, changeless, Sthanuhu. That's why this Thanuhu means maybe it is changeless, but it will move. It will go to one place like the Jiva. To remove that idea, it never go anywhere. That's a immovable. But we said Jiva is movable. That subtle body is movable. But here, when it comes now, see, both mixed and we are analyzing. Now we are coming more to the supreme self, which is the absolute reality. Achalaha. It is immovable. It is changeless and it is immovable. That's why Achalaha. That's why for every mountain, generally the names will be Aruna Achalaha, Aruna Achalaha, Bhadra Achalaha. Okay. So many mountains, all are Simhachalam, Bhadrachalam, Arunachalam. Okay. So like that, the Chalam, Achalam, immovable. So immovable. And it is Sanatanaha. Sanatana means it is unborn. It is always there. Which is always there. What is the need of telling the it is born or it is disappeared? It is always there. So there is no question of time. There is no question of space. There is no question of any vikara. There is no any question of action in it. Then, sir, which is not moving, which is not staying in one place like the mountain, then it is a jadam, it is inert, sir. No, Atma is not inert. Because Atma is Chaitanyam, all these inert things are all borrowing the Chaitanyam and function. See, this physical body now, it is a Jadam, Achetanam. But now it is moving and blinking and talking to you, actions doing, and breathing is going and coming. All these things are happening because of the supreme consciousness, original consciousness, I, which is all pervading, eternal, the Kalati, the Deshati, the. Now, by saying this, Sthanuhu, changeless and immovable and unborn, we can say together Vastu Atitam, beyond any object, cannot be objectified, cannot compare with any object, even include with the space. In fact, in our experience, perceptional, sensual experiences, what is the biggest thing? What is the biggest thing? Space. Scientists will tell about the star is so big than the what? Earth and sun and moon. But if such a stars are billions of stars are there, then how much big should be this space? If space itself is that much big, now few seconds, a few minutes about the space, how beautiful if you keep on contemplate. One of these methods actually Akasha Dhyanam in Avadhoda Gita, in many other some Upanishads also, Dharakasha Dhyanam. Dharakasha means slowly that Akasha, okay, which is Sthula Akasha, that itself is Achalam. Now, one point to apply. Comparatively, all the four great elements, it is eternal. Remember, in brackets, it's not absolutely eternal. But your earth may get dissolved, water may get dry up, and planets may fall down, and sun may get destroyed, all stars may get bursted, but still Akasha is eternal comparatively, isn't it? So eternal. And Akasha is everywhere, all pervading. And Akasha, there is any modification, change is happening in the Akasha. How many times we discuss and talk about again and again, analyzing, thinking about the Atma is the contemplation of the best method by which you come closer to your essential nature, finally to understand I am much more. Where is the Akasha actually? Where is the Akasha actually? In in some Upanishad, I think, there is a um, discussion about the hmm, this Atma between Janaka and the Agnavalkya. When Janaka keep on asking where is the physical body, where is the earth element is in the hmm? Like this one by one. Earth is in the water, water is in the fire, fire is in the air, air is in the space. Space, where is the space? Then the teacher said, if you want to, if you ask more than that, you will you will head get burst. That means what? Space is in your mind. Space is in your mind. Then how much the mind should be big? Oh, mind is so big because there is the whole cosmos, space, everything is in my mind only. That's why in the dream, when the mind imagines itself, he travels you travel in the space, you go to the America in the dream. Where from in such a small mind, if it is a mind is small, where from such a big space is possible? If it is a mind is a small, how it is possible to come a big elephant or big mountain in the dream? These are the questions and answers discussion very beautiful in the Mandukya Upanishad, Gaudapada Acharya. Very interesting, very deep. So here just I am bringing that examples because so mind is in our space is in our mind. That means what? Chidakasham is more bigger than this Sthula Akasham. And such Chidakasha is okay, merely Chit Swarupam. Not the my mind space alone. All the minds are in the Chidakash. First, we'll come to the Hridayakasham, Stulakasham, Hridayakasham, and Chidakasham. That Chidakasham is the unlimited, vast, immovable, unborn, and all pervading. That is Atma. Finally, what? I am that. I am that. Sir, all these points are not there in the shloka. You are unnecessarily talking so much time. No, my dear. These are all the inputs we have to give along with this shloka. Now, your Vedantic foundation, your understanding will become stronger and stronger. Then the same ideas and the same things. So, Bhagavan here condensed all those Upanishads ideas and brought, are simply uh, um, fire can't do anything and wind can't do anything. And we have to give some conclusion. So, space, Akasham. So after telling this 24th shloka, Achedyoyam, Adahyoyam, all that, other these words are important. As first seven words we have given the attributes, the qualities of the Atma. Actually, it is a Visheshana Rahitam. But for us to understand all those Visheshanam which you have given are not about like a color, not about a size. We are saying Anantam is the Visheshana, Swarupa Lakshanam of the Brahma, Anantam. Nirvikaram is a Visheshanam, but we have said anything, any Akara, it is red color, it is white color. No. So Nirvikaram, Nirvishesham, Niranjanam, Nirantaram, Nirvikal. So like this, these words also if we make join it, this Tanuhu word is new and Sanatanaha. After that, in the 25th shloka, Bhagavan going little more deeper, Sanatanaha means normal meaning we say is ancient. So Hindu Dharmam generally called as the Sanatana Dharma. It is not a matam. It is not a religion born like other religions, small, small in the middle. It is eternal. The Sanatana word is used for eternal because this Vaidika Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma is based on the Vedas. Vedas are talking about the Veda Purva Bhaga and Veda Anta Bhaga. They won't change. Veda Purva Bhaga talks about the Dharma, Veda Anta Bhaga talks about the Brahma. So, Dharmam and Brahmam, these are the true two things. By Dharma, you have to know the Brahma. In between these two, Artha and Kama, Purusharthas are just a temporary supportives. 25th shloka avyaktoyamachintyoyam avikaryoyamuchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitumarhasi. I will explain this shloka in the next class because again Bhagavan using a very technical words of avyaktam, achintyoyam, avikaryoyam, then Tasmad, by knowing this truth in this way, Arjuna, viditvam, viditva, enam viditva in this way, nanu shochitu marahasi. Once a person knows this is the truth, he never grieves. He loses the right to become miserable. You have to remember this point, last point. When we are studying the Vedanta and when we are listening to Bhagavad Gita, when we claim ourselves, I am a spiritual seeker, remember, we have now lost the right to become miserable. We'll conclude here and see more details about the shloka in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ हरि ओम तत्सत्